This picture simply shows a sister shouts to her brother. But what do you think about the reason behind this? I think most of us will just simply interpret it as like, the brother did something wrong, so the sister had to do so. 2 years ago, I had the same interpretation. When my brother drove his little car toward my room and wanted to have fun with me, I always refused him by saying I got no time. When I made a lunch for him, but he didn't finish it completely, I said, you don't respect me. Sometimes I made a cup of milk tea for him. He drank it happily, but only left some bubbles in the cup. I'll say, the only thing you know is food wasting, let alone the cup washing. So every day I was bothered by these tiny stuff. Day by day I feel extremely exhausted, and I started to ask, what is wrong with me? At that time, I didn't look up for an answer. But about 1 year later, I found the answer accidentally from a book, which is called A Guide for the Perplexed, written by Schumacher. He illustrates an idea that people should view the world, or even themselves, in an integrated way, instead of a separated way, as viewing themselves as molecules and atoms. So before explaining this, I want to introduce a concept. The world can be divided into 4 progressive stages. The first stage is the inorganic substance. They are static and lifeless. And we express this characteristic as M. The second stage will be plant. Plants know how to do photosynthesis. They can grow. So this is the discrepancy between these 2 stages. And I express it as X. The plant will be M plus X. The next stage will be animal. Animal has awareness. So when others provoke them, they'll feel mad and have certain reactions. So this is the discrepancy between these 2 stages, and still we can use a letter to express it. The last stage will be human being. So for human being, they have evident self-awareness. When others provoke us, we may feel mad. However, we may also reflect on ourselves. We may also reflect on ourselves and think about the reason behind this. So animals and human is just totally different. We express this as M plus X plus Y plus Z. Now we know the difference between these 4 stages. So what is the connection? Looking from a physical way, for inorganic substances, we can divide them into numerous pieces casually without changing their properties. However, for human, we cannot separate our arms or legs. Otherwise, we'll feel really hurt. So we can conclude that moving from the end toward the inorganic substances toward the end of human being, we are actually become more integrated. More importantly, looking from a mental way, humans still cannot be separated. And that's the idea illustrated by Schumacher. A real human being should pursue an internal integrated state. However, in the society, numerous people are living separately. For example, who really likes to attend to school? I mean, some of the time we feel really bothered about coming to school, but we still come here because the sentence, I had to, or we think this is the responsibility of a student. For me, I don't want to take care of my brother, he's just too annoying. But I had to do that because this is the responsibility of a sister. Or sometimes you have to write a 4,000 words essay just before the deadline. Of course, you feel really exhausted and you don't want to push yourself this kind of hard, but things just come to that step, so you have to do it. Now we can conclude that the essence of these 3 examples is just saying, our willingness is different from our actions. So our action will just be the picture on the left, and the mental state will just be the cat. But for an integrated person, they're in harmony with themselves. Their actions makes friends with their mental state makes friends with their action, which means Their actions are done based on their real willingness. This seems to be really ideal because in a society, there are too many external factors and uncertainties affect our behavior. However, I believe that even though we cannot determine the external factors, we can determine our own selves. And what I'm trying to do is offer you some clues and hope you can be inspired by it a little bit. Before explaining how to become more integrated, I will illustrate the opinion stated by scholarship. So he illustrates the problem of separation by using an example related to the Great French Revolution. Its slogan is liberty, equality, fraternity. As you interpret these concepts in a literal way, you may discover that there are certain conflicts between liberty and equality. For example, when you allow your brother takes away all the candies on the table, your sister definitely will feel unfair. So this is a conflict between liberty and equality. But the situation will change if the cousins love each other. So scholarship concluded that while the higher comprises, and therefore in a sense understands the lower, no being can understand anything higher than themselves. In other words, the solution of a problem never stays in the same stage with the problem. It's in an upper stage, toward the end of the human being. Fraternity is staying at a higher dimension, so it can solve the conflict between liberty and equality. Now we look back at these three examples. As you feel anxious about writing an essay just before the deadline, you can actually change the situation by using two ways. Like, you can change your behavior, stop procrastinating, or you still can choose to write an essay just before the deadline. But the situation is, you should accept yourself. All of these actions will just help yourself become more integrated and more comfortable. For me, I don't want to take care of my brother. And I definitely feel separated because my willingness is totally different with my action. But if I thought about leaving him in 2 or 3 years and then spend abroad for 10 years, I do will miss him and become more appreciated the time that I spent with him in nowadays. Then actually, I'm staying in the upper stage, treating him and myself more friendly. For us who don't want to come to school, we can actually try to think about some happiness of coming to school. Rambling around the lake, chatting with our best friends, finding sparkles in our school life can help us accept our situation. Now we are just viewing the questions in this kind of position instead of standing with a problem with the same stage. So now we are likely to become more integrated. Life keeps stretching us by bringing numerous pain, but this pain also provides us chances to move toward an upper stage. While your willingness started to correspond with your actions, congrats, now you become more integrated. Thank you for listening.